y'all. What it do? What it do? My fault. Yeah, I was just on there right now. I'm curious to know. I'm damn near. I'm not gonna stand here that long because I'm about to work in the last of this prisoner of war energy. You know what I'm saying? It's, one thing about me though, I always express to y'all, even when you play in the game, is not to be proud of it. You know what I mean? All right, you also. I'll get this door for you, man. You got it? Facts, facts. Enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, I was just at the end of my live. You see, I spoke to this one guy with one leg. He got such a beautiful spirit. Like I told y'all, I'm straight down the line. I tell y'all all the time, even though I talk about the complex cell organism and the infringement, the ideology that we're living against our means and against the black woman's creations, right? Because the mother of all life, this is all around you. So the more you forget who you are, you got to remember it's coming all back to you. You come before me. I can only come from you, and I don't even got your full genetic makeup. You get what I'm saying? So that should tell you something if you already haven't figured it out yet. Your totipotent stem cells, nobody has those. No other woman has those. But like where we're going right now, y'all, it's beautiful because you gotta look at it like as far as really what's been done to us, and as all of this is coming out, it's not painful because you got to realize it's for our species standpoint, right? It's for children, right? I know some of us aren't going to be able to realize or even adapt to what we've always been because of what's been infringed on us. You get what I'm saying? And how we think that we're actually supposed to be living, in comparison to really how we're supposed to be living, right? A lot of stuff that we're so connected to is completely hazardous to us. On a mental level, a spiritual level, a biological level, right? Anatomically, and we're not even aware of it. And I'm telling y'all this from even me myself. I'm not perfect, but I'm just telling y'all, look, I'm about to eat this shit, right? How much chemicals you think in this? I'm in Dunkin' Donuts. Sugar, you know how detrimental sugar is for anybody's genetic makeup. Your bone marrow, your immune system. What sugars and stuff more than anything, more addictive than cocaine and all of that. But that's probably one of the main things that everybody eats every day from a collective standpoint. Everybody, regardless of your genetic makeup, and majority of people that eat it, they don't even know how it affects their body. Better yet, or how their body works alone. But regardless of what they're putting in it. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a real thing right here. It's an attack. It's an attack on the lack of awareness. On everybody, but mainly us though. You feel me? Mainly us, because everything starts with us. You know what I'm saying? So I know y'all been seeing. I'm curious to know how much more they've been spraying the skies where y'all at, because where I'm at, y'all, I always tell y'all I'm in the heart of this shit, right? They spraying the skies like crazy where I'm at, y'all. They going crazy, and I explained that on one of my lives the other day, talking about what's insanity, expect doing the same thing and expecting a different change, right? Everything that I've been speaking about, or even what people was laughing at me about or thought wasn't going to happen, is so relevant right now and happening right now that the only thing you can do is just be quiet if it's said, or laugh about it amongst the awareness that everybody's looking at you like you're crazy because everyone's aware that it's going on. You get what I'm saying? So this is where we at with it. I remember when everybody was telling me about the planes. You know what I'm saying? When I was telling them they're gonna start dropping out of the sky every day. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna get wild because of that radiation levels. It's gonna start affecting technology all over. Everybody thought I was a fluke talking about that shit. And think about all the lives recently that was lost off of planes, but off of lack of awareness. They didn't even. I guarantee you, most of the people that died on them planes, they didn't even have awareness to not even get in the sky, knowing anything about radiation. I guarantee you. I guarantee y'all. You know what I mean? So this is, and I'm not saying this to scare y'all, but I'm just saying. I'm saying this from a reality standpoint. What you don't know will be used against you in a way that could even be fatal. You feel me? And I'm gonna be honest with you. I know a lot of y'all getting on them motherfucking planes, but you got me shit. I'm not getting on no plane. I'm not getting on no plane. Shit. And I've been saying that. I said that. I was saying that in 2021, 2020. Like, you thought if you knew I wasn't gonna get on the planes then, and the radiation levels wasn't even as bad as it is now, what makes you think that I would get on a plane now? You know what I'm saying? Be real. Hell no. Hell no. Not doing it. Not doing it. You feel me? So I value y'all. But one of the things I want to push for y'all to do is like stop caring about what people think of you. I feel like that's one of the biggest problems in the world. I feel like a lot of people aren't even authentic because of that reason, alone. Like, you can't be authentic and be your natural self if you're worried about how any and everybody is going to view you. You get what I'm saying? Or how they're going to take you. Like, if you're trying to be, if you're trying to either impress everybody or trying not to have anybody mad or not to have anybody hate what you say and stuff like that, you're going to be controlled by everybody. You're going to be being yanked like this, and it's still not going to. And the result that you're trying to get, you're still not going to get. You're still not going to get it. So the reason why the majority, it's not even about what I talk about. Of course, what I talk about be making it worse and shit. But the reason why a lot of people don't like me is because I don't care what people think about me. You get what I'm saying? Like, I know what being a good person looks like. I know I have a good heart. You know what I'm saying? If you see I don't have a good heart or you don't validate my beautifulness, that's not a problem with me because I have enough understanding about life and how it's supposed to go where I know what's right or wrong. I don't need it to be validated. I don't need it to be told to me. You get what I'm saying? And anybody that knows what I'm talking about, y'all know what I'm saying. So that's why a lot of people don't like me because in the area where I'm at, it's like people don't have, a lot of people might have more money than me, but a lot of these people don't have power because a lot of people, either with money or without money in this area, not everybody, but a lot of people, they care too much about what other people think of them. You know what I'm saying? They're every day what they do and shit. Like, if they know people are going to look at them in a certain manner and it's not anything bad, they won't do it because they know how people are going to look at them. And you ask yourself, if you know it's not anything bad or it's something that you genuinely like that's authentic towards yourself, why the fuck would you care what anybody thinks of you? You know what I'm saying? But that's how much people care about what other people think of them, Like, people, and it's all coming from a standpoint damn near of, like I said, how people view them, and from the standpoint of people not want to be alone. For real. Y'all know I'm telling the truth, Because when you don't care about being alone and you have a righteous ego, right? You know what's right from wrong and you're doing what you feel is right. You're not worried about losing friends and not having friends. You know what I'm saying? You don't give a fuck about that shit, It don't matter, You be like, yeah, that's what's up. You understand I'm on some cruise shit. I'm doing what I got to do. This is my stance. But if you don't, so I'm gonna stop doing what I know is right just because you're not validating it. You know what I'm saying? Come on now, y'all. We passed that. We passed that. So it's all about standing in your power. When you're really in your power, you're not caring about that shit. And a lot of people might not like my delivery. They might not like, I apologize to your star seeds that, if I might cuss and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? But a lot of times when it's a lot of negativity, because there's a lot of resistance in the area where I'm at, not even just amongst me, but around truth, right? So that's why it be certain times wherever I'm at in this area where I got to shut shit down and I got to shake shit up around the reality of what's going on, and tell people what it is or speak about it. You get what I'm saying? For real. Because this is where we at with it. You know what I'm saying? This is where we at with it, and it's beautiful. So I advise everybody, be in your authentic self. Like, just make sure that you're not being negative. If you're not harming nobody, you're not being negative. You trying to work on yourself. It shouldn't matter what anybody thinks of you. You should be trying to evolve. You should be trying to be a better person. Because one thing's certain, once you're trying to be a better person or a good person, anybody that's low vibrational and negative in your life, even if you got a kid with them, they're going to be X'd out. The universe isn't even going to allow for them to be in your presence no more. You feel me? Because at that point, they're not going to be worth it because they're going to be slowing you down. And the universe is going to allow for them to play themselves, but in a way of thinking that they're harming you and playing you, That's what happens in these type of situations, So even I think about it right now, with like my situation with like my child and stuff like that. Like literally, I didn't know it. It was times where I didn't know how the truth was gonna come out, right? Because it wasn't about me making her look bad or anything. It was about me just getting back in my child's life and stuff like that. but I didn't really like press it like that. I just like, just took my time within like the process of it, and I just kept going, y'all. I just kept going, So like that's why it's power in that. I just want to just tell y'all that. So this ain't a live to like bash anyone or anything like that. It's a lot. It's a lot about just being like the best person you're gonna be. You know what I mean? And really realizing that there will be a lot of stuff to try to distract you. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. But that was the biggest test. You know what I mean? And like it's a real thing. It's real out here, y'all. Spiritual warfare is a real thing, and entities work through people. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. There's so much knowledge that I have on a lot because, one thing that's for certain, and I'm gonna just say it whatever it means off the energy that's floating around. Though, like, I'll never reconcile with the mother of my child. There will never be a reconciliation. I don't care how it went down. I don't care you still messing with them or not. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. You feel me? Just the fact that you played with me, you had me all the way fucked up. Your ass gonna stay kicked out of my life forever, even with my child. For real, for real. I guess in your own way, you better hope that that's not my child. So I guess you feel less bad about it because you'd be like, damn, I didn't do this to the father of my child. But you know what I mean? Like, regardless, like, that's done. Like, you can't even be my friend. Like, you played yourself, you embarrassed yourself trying to embarrass me, and you're just gross. I mean, like, you're gross. Like, I'm embarrassed that I even had sex with you. Like, you're very, very gross. Like, I would never see you in that way, or you would never touch me sexually. I know that I know that the mother of my child knows, like, that I'm protecting myself from you sexually. Like, and you know that the only way you can watch me now is on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Whether you lying and whoever else around you, to whatever, everyone able to see you for who you are or whatever. I don't care about none of that, for real, because it's like, all I care about is that I'm staying in my power. I'm protecting myself from you for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? And this is the biggest lesson that is going to be taught to my child about handling a person that's abusive, in whatever way they try to flip it and try to make you seem like you're abusive, try to attack you, use children against you, try to because it's so much stuff that they try to do to me. All the people she grouped up with. I don't give a fuck how long y'all knew each other, whatever sexual interest that y'all have and y'all low vibrational activities together, protecting each other, anything. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. You feel me? I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. All I care about is that, y'all try to control my intuition, you know what I'm saying? And try to make me question myself on the lowest level of gaslighting me, as if like what I was saying, wasn't the truth, or as if like y'all could come back and try to finish me off, or the ways that y'all already tried to finish me and shit, and all of that. Like you literally try to manipulate in every single way possible with everything, you know what I mean? And you didn't get a reaction out of me out of all of that stuff, and you did all this to avoid rejection, to try to harm me, to make yourself, to justify the guilt that you really felt about how you was living, even before me, the same type of stuff that you did to other people and stuff like that. But it just stopped with me, That's how the universe works. Like, when it's something, like, you knew you shouldn't have been living that way, and being that sexually reckless with your energy, sexually for money and everything, like, you knew what you was doing. Like, you should have stopped that way before you even had a kid with me. You know what I'm saying? And the other people that you did that same shit to, and still continuously, like, you didn't grow or anything. Like it's sad, but usually people that are like that, like, they don't change. You know what I mean? They don't change, because if you're trying to hide yourself from yourself, if you're trying to hide yourself from yourself, that's a serious thing, For real. You can't hide yourself from yourself, and that's something that if you're trying to do something like that, it's gonna I'm about to go to work. But I gotta go to work. But you're cute. I always be telling you, got a beautiful smile. I love your smile. the Latina. There's all Latinas at my job. Hey, them older Latina women be coaching me. Them older Latina women, they be knowing if you're dealing with a young Latina. You know when they be knowing off break how they are, because you don't even got to tell them much. They just know the energy, and they be like, no, 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 no. They be like, no, 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 no. They know the type. You know, they be knowing the type. So, like I told y'all, you know what I'm saying? We gotta stay focused. We gotta be positive. Remind yourself every day it's the last of it. You know. Be kind to people. Stay in your power. And that's it. Like y'all know how I was gonna eat this, right? I was gonna eat it. I don't even want to eat it no more. But I really don't be eating that shit. To make sure. But yeah, you gotta be powerful. You see how I noticed though, the main thing that people try to do to me, like you even heard it as I was leaving out just then, right? I realized how insecure I make people, because like people, whether I'm gonna tell y'all flat out, y'all might think I'm crazy as shit, but if you watch my lives, like you know, like whether, and I'm not saying this to say every single person that laughs, like really understand what I'm saying, not on a crazy tip like that, but best believe though, it's a lot of people, like I know my energy is strong as shit, and it's because like I don't care what no one thinks. I don't move in a way of validation from anyone about anything. Like I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I'm the same person. So it's like a lot of people when they get around me, they're either obnoxious in general, y'all. They're either really obnoxious in general, or whatever they're talking about, right? They'll start like laughing like extra loud. You heard how they all started laughing like as I was leaving out the door. If you don't play this video back, and you'll see what I mean. Like it's like people feel like they gotta make themselves look like more. And I can tell from a person that's like happy, and then a person that's like trying to over exaggerate a situation, or them even laughing about whatever they're laughing about and stuff. Like I can just read people, but I noticed that a lot of people, and I know off of a lot of people trying to do it to me. That's the standpoint I'm saying it from. Because a lot of people, like I'm not saying this from me observing like one person doing it. I'm saying this like observing a lot of people, they all do it the same way. It's like they try to, whatever they're talking about and what they laugh about, they'll try to like laugh in a way like to make me feel inadequate, even if they're not laughing at me. You know what I'm saying? Like almost like as if like their life is so golden and everything is perfect, you know, or even when they're getting their food and they eat their food in front of me, like how they'll bite their sandwich and they'll drink or they'll sip, because I'm either on live, they'll already be uncomfortable because of what I'm talking about, or if they're not doing it in that way, they are literally laughing at me, and they'll see that it's not working. Because like I said, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about somebody laughing at me that I don't even know, you know what I'm saying, or doesn't even know me. Therefore, your opinion on me doesn't even matter. It holds no strength over me at all, besides just a thought in your mind that has nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't like you can't make me feel inadequate like that. But that just shows how one-dimensional a lot of people are, y'all, because I swear to God, like it's been 5 years, right? And people still haven't figured out that shit don't have a reaction on me. Like I don't give a fuck about you trying to laugh at me literally and be extra obnoxious about it, or if you're trying to act like something is even overly funny, you know what I'm saying, in a way to like make me feel inadequate or anything. I don't be caring about that type of shit. So it's like that type of stuff. But what it lets me know though is how much people want to bring me down though. That's all I get from all of this shit, y'all. I'm just like, damn, I'm a strong ass motherfucking being, like, because people be doing the most wildest shit to try to like spite me and shit that I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know. And then you gotta think about it from a large scale. Why do so much people try to attack me that I don't know? Or that, you know what I'm saying? Why would that be? The first thing that comes to your mind is this: a lot of people get jealous of me. Why do people get jealous of me? Why would you get jealous of a person that you know that's struggling financially or that's homeless or going through real life stuff to that extent? Why would you feel low in front of that person to a point that you got to try to spite them? Is it what they're talking about? Is it because they're strong? Is it because they don't care about how you think of them? Even if you have a negative thought towards them, it doesn't control them. Is that maybe why? You know, yeah, like people. It's really sad. It just makes me not want to deal with a lot of people, y'all, because it's like, because I'm so smart and I see through a lot of bullshit and I have a lot of emotional maturity with me and stuff. It's like, even people that know that I'm that smart, maybe they see me as a threat. I don't know, but it's like, yeah, I just don't be fucking with any of the energy. I just notice it and that's it. You know, so I take that for y'all to see this is the stay positive, not let stuff break you. But the thing though, it happens mainly when it's like I reach a level of success or I gain something that's good for me going forward. You know what I'm saying? That lets me know that people see me as a threat, you know? But you should be seeing me like that if I don't even have a job or if I don't have a nice car, you know, if I'm not making what is deemed as success in this 3D world, right? Even without me having that or whatever, you should see me as me being who I am because me coming from a black woman. But it's like, even me coming out of a struggle and stuff, any piece of success 3D wise, right? It's like people get so jealous of me, you know? So it really shows how scared people are of me, you know? I'm gonna just leave y'all with that, but it's all good though. You know, we transmute, re-alchemize. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Peace, power, abundance. It's a viewpoints of RoBs Inferno while it burns slow. Shout out to my guys and goddesses and all high vibrational human beings. I tap in with y'all, yo.